Crystals have always been considered mysterious and magical, and even today are marketed as miraculous sources of healing and spirituality. And while the more mystic powers of crystals currently lacks any hard scientific backing, crystals do hold a significant and surprising place in modern health and healing. But to understand how crystals can heal, we first need to define what a crystal is. Crystal actually refers to a classification of materials, and can also call them crystalline solids. This refers to anything that's atomic structure, or the way the atoms are arranged, maintains a rigid and structured arrangement, and can be divided into a single repeating base unit, or unit cell, that makes up the entire solid. You can think of this like building blocks. Each block is identical to any other block, and together they make up the overall solid. This definition actually applies to quite a few surprising materials, like copper, salt, or even snowflakes are crystals. However, the pretty crystals you buy at the store are probably made out of glass, as it's easier to manufacture and sell. But glass is actually not a crystal, as its atomic structure is irregular and disordered, and not crystalline, no matter how well disguised. But some crystals have a lesser known property, one that allows them to help heal the human body. This is called piezoelectricity, and is what I'll be talking about today. Now, that's a mouthful, so let's break it up. Piezo, derived from the Greek piezein, literally translates to squeeze or press. And electricity, well, that's a little easier, but it refers to a form of energy that manifests as a charge or current. This breakdown is pretty spot on, as piezoelectricity refers to an electric charge caused by physical impact or stress, such as squeezing or pressing a material. This property is, in fact, reversible, so if an electric current is run through a piezoelectric material, it'll begin to deform on its surface, but in reality will look like it's vibrating. Now let's look at why does this happen and why is it useful? Remember earlier when I said that crystals have a repeating structure? Well, most crystals' unit cells are symmetrical and the edges line up perfectly, but in some, they actually don't. These are our piezoelectric crystals, and that non-uniformity is what allows them to do their thing. Specifically, when the crystal is squeezed or stretched, that ordered crystal structure is warped, and it upsets the electrostatic neutrality of the solid, as certain atoms are pushed closer or pulled farther from one another. This overall charge is carried throughout the solid in its entirety, and electrical currents appear on the surface of the crystal. And if you want to observe the reverse piezoelectric property, it's the same thing, but you just instead run an electric current and the atoms attempt to rebalance themselves in response. This causes a slight surface deformation as the crystal appears to vibrate in place. However small this process seems, the vibration of a crystal due to electricity is a crucial aspect of modern technology. Quartz, which has piezoelectric properties, is used in ultrasounds, as the rapid vibration of the crystal back and forth produces ultrasound waves through the push and pull of the air surrounding the crystal. Piezoelectricity is an important principle in understanding the uses and properties of crystalline materials, and while the actual effect is fairly small scale, its impact can be seen around the world, or even in your own home. So the next time you dismiss the idea of healing crystals, remember the magical and now not so mysterious powers of piezoelectricity